All right, better late than never. Yes, you are on to WRSU 88.7 FM, New Brunswick, New Jersey. Rutgers soccer team went on a little bit on overtime, and we are starting off your favorite afternoon delight a little bit later, but we have a very, very interesting show for you here on WRSU 88.7 FM, New Brunswick, New Jersey, Bharat Darshan Radio, coming to you live from the studios of WRSU. And you know me, my name is Dave Joshi, the original DJ, and I have the pleasure once again, and the honor, I should say, to have Khanthaji by me on the side, and she is co-hosting with me on a very, very special program. Khanthaji, namaste.
Namaskar, Devji. Thank you so much for having me back in 2 weeks. And it's totally my honor to do this show with you and our listeners all over the world. We have our local loyal listeners of New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. We have some listeners awake in India at this moment. We have a wonderful, wonderful show planned for today. And let me mention, I know to our local listeners, some of you may not know what is the special show that we have planned. We have been very fortunate to connect today with Baiju Mangeshkar, or Baiju Mangeshkar as he's known. He's the second son of Pandit Hridaynath Mangeshkar and the nephew of Lata Mangeshkar ji. He's live with us from Mumbai.
We are very, very honored to have him live from India.
Absolutely, extremely honored.
What is the hour in India right now?
It's about 12:45, no, actually 12:55 maybe.
A.M. Right.
On a Monday morning. So, namaskar to all the listeners in India. And Devji, do you think we could put Baijuji on the radio waves?
And it's so nice of you to open up our program with Baijuji's new creation.
Absolutely. But let's welcome Baijuji first.
Yes. Baijuji, are you there?
Yes, Devi.
All right. Nice to hear from you.
Likewise. Namaste, Khanthaji.
Oh, namaskar, Baijuji. What a pleasure. I think we need to hear you more loudly, perhaps, if we can.
Is this better?
Yes, definitely. A little bit better. How is our connection there? Are you able to listen to us?
Perfect.
Wonderful, wonderful. So it's a nice technology that we can connect globally.
Yes, indeed. It is rather amusing, isn't it?
Right. And first of all, our sincere thank you to you for staying awake at this unearthly hour. And
my pleasure entirely. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our delight and honor.
It's our pleasure and honor.
My honor too.
And we apologize to you and to all our listeners for the little delay in starting the program.
Not worry at all.
So let me introduce you to our listeners here, local listeners. As I mentioned, Baijuji is the second son of Pandit Hridaynath Mangeshkar, and he's coming live to us from Prabhu Kunj. And let me just explain to our local listeners who will be calling in. It's only when we play music that we can actually pick up the calls.
Right. We are both tied up with the microphones here live in the studio.
And
so it's better if once we get off the microphone and play music, then you can call in and we can directly connect with you.
Yeah, and the studio number is 1732-932-8800. So to our listeners, let me introduce Baijuji by saying that he's the latest composer who has had the unique honor to work with Lataji couple of years back, and we're going to begin the program with a very soulful composition of his in his own voice with Lataji mixed in a little bit. And this song specially goes out to Mohinderji and Bhupenderji. And let's listen to the song and then get a few calls in from our loyal listeners, and then we'll interact for the entire duration of the show with Baijuji.
Yeah. Baijuji, just stand by, and we are playing your song just for our listeners over here. And this is the first time, I believe?
Yes, to get acquainted with your talent and your composition and your voice.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And listeners, once again, as Khanthaji mentioned, we are coming to you live. So live means your interaction is, of course, very, very important to us. Do give us a call. That inspires us. And Khanthaji took time out today, this afternoon. We had a wonderful Bharat Darshan Club Nephew yesterday, so we'd like to thank our host and all the responsible people for making it very, very successful. And it's nice that globally we are reaching out and globally everybody is getting to know Baiju ji, and of course
Devji.
And who doesn't know Lataji? So.
Yes, exactly. So, namaskar to everyone worldwide.
रांझन रावल मंगे रांझन रावल मंगे निमेंडा दिल रांझन रावल मंगे रांझन रांझन रावल मंगे रांझन रांझन रावल मंगे छल दे उरण बबूला दे कंडे उरण बबूला दे कंडे निमेंडा दिल रांझन रावल मंगे रांझन रांझन रावल मंगे रांझन रांझन रावल मंगे रांझन रांझन रावल मंगे कहे हुसैन फकीर निमाना कहे हुसैन फकीर निमाना रांझन मिले किते ढंगे रांझन मिले किते ढंगे निमेंडा दिल रांझन रावल मंगे रांझन रांझन रावल मंगे रांझन रांझन रावल मंगे रांझन रावल मंगे रांझन रावल मंगे रांझन
Wow, that's a beautiful composition, Baiju ji. Tell us a little bit about the song itself and how it came about.
Well, this is a Hazrat Shah Hussain Kafi. It has been composed and sung by other great artists from Pakistan, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And this is part of my extended play album.
Okay.
That I did 2 years ago with Lataji, and where I have sung and composed the song. And it's a Sufi kalam by Hazrat Shah Hussain.
Yes.
He's a 16th century Sufi poet.
Right, right. So you went back in history about 500 years ago to begin your debut.
Yes, well, one didn't realize that.
Yes.
The old is gold.
Right. Very, very, very beautifully composed.
It's going to be, always, this can never go old,
Yes,
Such
yes.
great poetry, so profound and
Evergreen.
absolutely.
Yeah. And your voice is marvelous. We really enjoy that debut song here on WRSU. And
Yes, and
Thank you very
Devji
much.
and a lot of our listeners are probably hearing your voice for the first time. And
Yes,
of course you
thank you.
belong to
Yeah.
the most distinguished family. So it's
Right.
no surprise that your voice is extremely good. And
Say hello, America.
right.
Thank you, Baiju.
And you, I guess the music and this art is in your blood.
In your blood, in the
Right.
air that you
Yes,
breathe.
That's right.
Yes, and
You grew up with that, and I'm sure you have had lots of pleasant experiences, and you can shed some light on your history of your musical development, and Khantha ji will
Yes.
ask you questions. She is very good at that. So
no,
I'll leave it up to
no,
Khantha ji.
actually you read my mind, Devji. You asked the very question that I was going to ask Baiju. So tell us, this composition that we just finished hearing, as you mentioned, is a Shah Hussain composition, a kafi.
Right.
And you took on the bold challenge of creating a very different tune, different from Abida Parveenji's rendition or Ustad Nazar Hussain and so on. It has a
Yes,
very
that's-
contemporary feel and yet has classical elements.
That's right.
So could you tell us what in your musical training led you to...
Well, firstly, I'm amazed at your knowledge, Kanthaji.
Oh, we are always
Oh,
amazed.
please, Baiju, don't make me embarrassed on the air. But go on, our listeners want to hear from you.
First, applaud your great research, and you know that this composition has been, rather this kafi has been tuned by none other than the great Ustad Nazar Hussain from Pakistan.
Yes, yes, and
not many have, strangely, not many have attempted this kafi.
yes,
Don't know why.
right.
So, I definitely, it was a very daunting, task, or rather, not while making it, but certainly while putting it in the market, one did think of, how would anybody who's familiar with Abda Parveen's track, or Ustad Nazar Hussain's track, and how would they react to
Yes,
hear a novice, a newcomer, sort of,
Yes,
attempting
yes.
something so big.
yes, but tell our listeners what makes you go into this mixture, contemporary feel mixed with classical elements. So tell us something about your classical training.
My training comes from, right from a very young age, when I was about probably 9 or so, and I was, learning light classical, of course.
Yes.
From Pandit Tulsidaji Sharma,
Uh-huh.
Patiala Gharana,
Ha.
and then
Is that the same person who has also taught your aunts, including Lataji?
Tulsidaji Sharma ji used to come, during the 70s, and Lataji and Usha ji both sort of did vocal, sort of maintenance and exercises with him.
I see. While you were learning from him.
Pardon?
While you were learning your lessons.
Yeah, I did, but that unfortunately came to a halt because he passed away.
I see.
And then there was a little gap, and then how it is with school and
Right.
all that, and then much later I started learning with Pandit Ramesh Jhuleji,
Uh-huh.
who's a shagird of Pandit Mani Prasad ji, and then later on with Pandit Ajay Pohankar ji.
Acha. And I think I've read that Asha ji continues to learn with Pandit Jhuleji. Is that correct?
Yeah, she does does her vocal exercises with him now and then.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's splendid.
Just to maintain their sort of
Right.
vocal quality, I suppose.
Right. So let's just break off here for your next composition from the same album. The album is called Ya Rabba, For our listeners, it's available on Amazon or iTunes, actually. You can download the album. And let's play this song, wherein you have made the Nightingale of India sing your composition. And while we do that, we can also take some calls from our local listeners. So again, welcome to the show. We are doing a very special show, interacting live with Baiju Mangeshkar ji, coming to us from Prabhu Kunj in Mumbai. And good evening, good afternoon to all our listeners worldwide. So let's go to the second song in the same album, which is a duet of Lataji and Baiju ji's, composed by Baiju ji.
And after that, we will be talking about Baiju ji's interaction with his aunts. And, of course, everybody wants to know what Lataji is up to, how is she celebrating her birthday, what your feeling is about all those records that were broken by your aunts and all that. So we will be back after that while we carry on with some music, and the phone calls are coming in. 732-932-8800 is the number.
रब्बा मेरे हाल दा महरम तू अंदर तू है बाहर तू है अंदर तू है बाहर तू है रोम रोम विच तू रोम रोम विच तू रब्बा मेरे हाल दा महरम तू रब्बा मेरे हाल महरम तू रब्बा मेरे हाल दा महरम तू रब्बा मेरे हाल दो महरम तू कहे हुसैन फकीर साईदा कहे हुसैन फकीर साईदा कहे हुसैन
फकीर साईदा मेरा सब कुछ तू रब्बा मेरे हाल दा महरम तू रब्बा मेरे हाल दा
रब्बा मेरे हाल दा
रब्बा मेरे हाल दा महरम तू
Wow, that was fantastic, Baiju ji. Wonderful composition, wonderful voices, and you know what amazes me, Lataji, when was this recorded, Baiju ji?
This was recorded about 2 years ago.
Oh, wow. She still sounds like a little girl. I tell you, it's amazing in her voice quality. So young.
She does.
Absolutely phenomenal. Very, very beautiful composition.
Thank you so much.
The one thing that some of our friends also texted me on Facebook, and what everybody wants to know is your experience of getting your composition recorded by Lataji. And from what I have read, you were even shy to go and approach her, and it was one of your aunts who actually did the talking for you. So go ahead, Baiju ji, please tell us.
Shy is probably an understatement. I think it was more fear, because, you're dealing with, you're talking to, Goddess Saraswati incarnate, who
Yes.
is a genius and who knows her music too well, and, in spite of, singing with so many music directors, she's very careful with what she sings and who she's singing with, and
Yes.
And people forget that she is a terrific composer herself.
Oh, she is indeed. She is a brilliant composer herself.
Yes, and we will play some jhalaks of her music later on. But tell us right now how you approached her and how she reacted to the composition that you had created.
Well, I had actually made, this was a sort of a chat that we had once many years ago, when I had made some ghazals for her, in fact, actually.
Oh, I see.
But we somehow didn't manage to, rather I was quite shy of those compositions myself, and I sort of discarded them myself.
Oh, what a
Before
pity.
even I sort of gave it a sounding to her.
Yes.
And then in the meantime, I made these, and I just thought she was the most befitting singer who could do justice to this, sort of spiritual genre.
Right.
And I made these demos, and I played them out to her, and she liked them, luckily for me.
Oh, good. And good for us.
And she said yes, and of course it took a while, because she had other sort of commitments that she needed to do, and as you all know, that she's sort of selective, and she's cut down her work, so she takes her time, and
Yes.
so there was a long wait as well,
Right.
which I admired most, because it showed me her commitment towards her work, that though I'm a nephew, she did not choose me over the others.
Yes.
I had to wait like the others.
You have to work as hard.
Right. Wonderful.
Yes, so it speaks great volumes of her as a professional.
Right.
And then yes, it was done, and then she agreed to sing, and then we, selected a date, and I got her to do her bits, and then later on I did mine.
Wonderful. Great.
I'm kind of ignorant about this, Baiju ji, myself, but did you also approach your other aunts to record other things, or what is in plan for you?
In future, I'm not yet sort of approached anyone yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of doing my own bit of, composing and singing myself.
Right.
So hopefully in future you'll hear more from me as a singer-composer.
Are the other ladies also very active in terms of singing and composing?
Oh yes, absolutely. Asha ji has just come back from a rocking concert in Birmingham and London.
And she was here also in the U.S.
Yes. We talked about her 2 weeks
It
back.
was quite a momentous occasion, and I have a dear friend in London, Shilpa, who sort of was there at the concert, and she can't stop gushing about how brilliant the
Performer, absolutely. And let me just mention on the air that we have several local callers, our loyal listeners, and also listeners from California, New Jersey calling in, Satish ji, Malti ji, Indra ji, Haq Saab. Thank you all for listening. Thank you to all the friends abroad in all the countries, including China, who are listening. So let's move on, Baiju ji, and tell us, you do more than just singing and composing. You started out not as a singer-composer, but in a different art.
Well, I actually did my first recording when I was 9 years old.
I see. Oh, I'm not aware of that.
It was a children's album.
Oh, yes, yes.
Composed by my aunt, Meena Mangeshkar Khadikar.
Yes.
So, and then I did a few odd, sort of for upcoming composers. But those films or those albums didn't see the light of the day, unfortunately.
Yes.
So
I see. And now you indulge in art too, because the jacket cover of Ya Rabba.
Yes, of course. I am a painter, a trained painter from JJ School of Arts.
Yes.
Specialized in fine art and painting.
I see.
And yes, and I do graphic designing as well.
Wonderful. And that too, painting is also something that your aunts do.
Yes, my aunt, not my aunts, but just one aunt, Usha Auntie, who's a trained painter from none other than M.R. Atrikar, who was a great prolific painter of India and the art director to Raj Kapoor Saab for all his films.
I see.
And,
Wow.
She's a great portrait artist.
Yes.
And of course, as a child, I did learn a bit from her as well.
Right.
Training from her, and then of course I did my graduation in fine art in JJ School of Arts.
I see. And do you pursue your passion of painting even now?
Yes, I do. I do sort of commission works when I'm approached.
I see.
And I've done sort of commercial graphic designing. I did a job as well in a graphic studio.
I see.
So,
You have a connection with your painting, with your singing compositions, with we call Bollywood. Do you still have those connections that you can go to if you need an assignment, or if they have something in mind just for you? Do they come to you?
No, not. I haven't been approached from the Indian film industry as such.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, from the music industry, I did a few sort of album covers and CD covers in the past.
I see.
And yeah, a lot of DVD packaging for Indian films. But that's when I was doing a job with somebody.
I see. Let's move on and play a little jhalak of one of your songs from, as Devji just mentioned, about your involvement with the film industry. So you actually have a song in a Marathi film, some dating back about 8-9 years ago, which was composed by your dad. We are going to play a jhalak of it. It's a long song. And then because we certainly want to celebrate Lataji's 87th upcoming birthday with you. And so we'll play a jhalak of this as a singer in a Marathi film. You can mention the name of the film, Baiju ji.
Are you playing Dongari?
Yes, I'm going to play that.
Okay, this was composed by my dad, Pandit Hridaynath Mangeshkar.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a song in a film called Khe Saat Bara Sa.
Uh-huh.
This song
what does that mean?
A background song that came, in important scenes of the film that played through.
Was it quite popular?
Well, not as much as I would have liked.
Well, that's always the case.
That's always the case, yes. But let's listen to
I
that.
received some appreciation from it, and especially from people in the music industry, so that was quite heartening.
Oh, very nice. It's quite an unusual composition of your dad, I must say.
It is. I mean, my dad's compositions are rather...
Yeah, very unusual, very unique.
They are unusual and they're very difficult, and he's got very exacting standards, and he has his own way of extracting, the song from the singer when he's at the mic. And believe me, the biggest of the biggest are sort of afraid in front of him.
Right. So let's listen to this jhalak of your singing, and then we will talk to you about other things.
Friends, you're listening to Bharat Darshan Radio on WRSU 88.7 FM, New Brunswick, New Jersey. Dave and Khanthaji with you, bringing you a special program all the way from India. We have connection with Baiju, a nephew of the great Nightingale of India, Lata Mangeshkar, who's celebrating her birthday, of course. And we will go more with our conversation right after this song Khanthaji mentioned.
दिसे कल्लोळ अलीकडले सर्व निवांत डोंगरी दिसे कल्लोळ अलीकडले सर्व निवांत निजतात कसे हे लोक सरणाच्या खाली शांत निजतात कसे हे लोक सरणाच्या खाली शांत मी उदास बसलो आहे या एकट ओढ्यापाशी मी उदास बसलो आहे या एकट ओढ्यापाशी परतीच्या गाई मजला का दिसती आज उपाशी का दिसती आज उपाशी निजतात कसे हे लोक सरणाच्या खाली शांत निजतात कसे हे लोक सरणाच्या खाली शांत गहिवरले अंबर काही साथीच्या गावामध्ये की कुणीच उरले नाही साथीच्या गावामध्ये की कुणीच उरले नाही
Wow, that's a great composition. I don't understand the language, but wonderful voices and great composition. Baiju, thank you and congratulations on that.
Thank you so much, Devji.
Yes, very well, beautiful composition, and we got several calls appreciating your entire album, Ya Rabba, as well as this song. And one listener. Yes, Baiju, you have a request from one of our callers whom I didn't recognize, but maybe you do. His name is Sailesh Siddhant, I believe, if I got his name right. He had a request that he wants you to sing a few lines of Damadam Mast Kalandar, which I cannot find on YouTube anymore. So I had to apologize to him that I can't play it for him.
Oh, okay.
And I don't have the track, so I'll let you answer this listener's request.
Who's this person?
Siddesh or some... I'm so sorry, there were so many calls.
Shailesh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe Devji knows.
Yeah, maybe a line or two. I know you had mentioned to Khanthaji earlier that your voice is not quite up to par today.
No, I have been sick for a week, and Khanthaji is aware of that. And
yeah, but just a line or two, so just to keep our listeners happy and...
maybe perhaps a little later?
Sure.
Sure.
That's fine.
And we got callers, Chris G and Paji, thank you very much for calling all the way from Florida. They're enjoying your interview with us, Baiju ji, and...
Thank you, that's very kind of people too.
And, you know, I mentioned that Lataji will be celebrating her birthday, but I understand from Chris, who seems to be on top of all the latest news, Lataji is not celebrating her birthday because of what happened with the army forces.
It's a very low-key birthday, and, because of what's happened to the army and what's happening in India.
Right.
And she's requested all her fans and especially her friends to not send her any gifts this year.
Uh-huh.
Instead, give that money to charity.
That's
Yes.
very nice, yeah.
She herself is donating about 12 lakhs.
Wow.
Magnanimous things to do, and
Yeah, very, very magnanimous.
She requested, all her friends and family to not give her any gifts this year and rather, give that money to charity
terrific.
Terrific.
for the welfare.
Yes, and she had a particular charity, I believe, in her post on Facebook.
Yes, I believe so. I think that is the national charity.
Oh, that is the National Army Jawans, I
I'm
think.
not quite sure.
Okay, I think
And
it is for
also,
the Jawans.
we had a question about your relationship with Asha, what I call Asha, the amazing Bhonsle.
Uh-huh.
What is have you done any particular work with her, or what is your relationship? And
No.
a lot of people have this lingering question about the relationship between the sisters. So maybe you can shed some light from the inside.
Well, I think the five of them are, as they keep telling us, because if we are ever quarreling amongst us, amongst us cousins or my brother and sister, they always show us their five, the hand and the five fingers, and they clasp it like a fist, and they say, you're supposed to stay like us.
Oh, that is...
Together.
That's
Yes.
a good way to describe it, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like a subtle way of either punching us as well or
Right.
you stay together.
Yeah, the fist is stronger than the five fingers.
Yes.
Yes.
So, that's, it's a misconception. People have rather, they like to romanticize about, with the rivalry between the sisters.
Yes.
Well, that's not true. In fact, Asha ji was just here, and she's just come back from London yesterday, and she came here to seek Lataji's blessings. Her kids were here, and we had a, sort of a great tea time tonight, this evening.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Wonderful.
I share a wonderful relationship with her. She's she's a people's person, and she sort of is always making people laugh and chatting, and I'm blessed.
Yeah, and the tragic thing about her siblings also that you, I'm sure, grew up with probably.
You mean my cousin?
Right, your cousins,
Yes, that's
Ashaji's children.
Yes, that's right.
Right. So let's move on, and I just want to mention a little more about you. So one of the things that you have always mentioned about, and we'll connect with that when we play a Lataji song, a favorite song of hers. You have been quite an avid collector of records, and have helped
I am.
Release a lot of.
When I started record collection, I have friends who support that. I have friends in India, friends in London, and friends in New York. I'm going to name them. They're Shailesh, Shilpa, and Vinod. They're constantly sort of, helping me find rare records and send them to me from...
Any particular...
Or bring them down to me.
Oh, wow.
For me. And
Any particular kind of music records that you are collecting, or...
Well, all kinds, because I have a pretty eclectic taste, and So definitely it's a lot of Indian film music, classical music, and then of course a lot of Western music.
Yeah, music is music everywhere, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm with you.
Yes, and I'm personally indebted to you because you have made sure that you have released almost the entire collection of Noor Jahanji's works before partition.
How do you know that?
Well, through the grapevine, perhaps
knows
a special
everything.
grapevine, but
You
thanks
better-
to...
Her research and her information never ceases to.
Oh, yes, we do.
But we owe a grateful thanks. It's so easy for us to go on YouTube and click and listen, but it's the work of...
I don't know whether Khanthaji mentioned this to you, Baijuji, but I started this programming when there was no YouTube, no videos, no nothing.
Yes, he is...
Yes, I mean, I started my collection when there was no internet.
There you go.
So, listening to a song and then, discussing it and then, searching high and low, even begging for, to get a copy of a certain song. And now it's just at the click of a finger,
Yeah, we need to get together because I have a large collection of all kinds of variety of music, and perhaps we can get together on that.
Yes, on your next visit, you should visit Devji's music room, which is full of records, which is full of LP records. And
wow, I love LP.
Yes, and
by the way, were you able to listen to my intro music that I've been playing for many, many, many years?
I did. I believe it's Timir Baran.
Oh my goodness, you know everything. So that is my collector's item, if you will. It's one of those rare records by Timirji.
yes, his dance music from the 40s, is that correct?
Right.
Yes, which sells on eBay for quite a big price.
Yeah, it was very, I used to play the old LP music as my intro music, and once it started getting scratched and everything, I was looking for another record to play, but it was so difficult to find that one.
Oh, yeah, I guess so, because, LPs are sort of absolutely...
All right, especially that kind of music, which kind of became out of date for a while.
Right.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, people are going back into the golden era, and
There is a revival for,
right.
records and vinyl records.
Correct. So we are not that far off.
Hope not.
And thank you for the services that you have rendered by releasing all those records of Noor Jahanji, Ushaji, Meenaji.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yes.
It was a pleasure. It was, like a hobby when I was in, college, when I sort of, Sanjeev Koliji, Madan Mohanji's son.
Ji. Yeah, the one one involved in Vizara and all that.
Yes, that's right. So I used to, sort of harass him and call him up and say, this needs to be out and that needs to be out. And then I sort of, would discuss, and especially Madam Noor Jahan, and I did kind of contribute a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you from many grateful listeners.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yes.
I see a lot of people sort of, giving reference to those songs that was sort of really difficult to get by, and
yes.
I'm glad we all, not just me, there were tons of other collectors in India who very generously gave their, collections to.
Right.
And Lataji must herself have a lot of classic collections like that too.
Oh yeah, she does indeed.
As I understand it, she considered Noor Jahan as her mentor, her idol in the beginning of her career.
And
so she must have collected quite a few.
Madam Noor Jahan, yes. Absolutely.
Right. I see the clock ticking. It's almost 4:08 here, and we have another just 52 minutes to talk to you about Lataji. So why don't try...
By the way, Khanthaji, he can always call in during our show 3 to 5 every Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. No, I don't want to be blamed for ruining his Sunday night sleep and his week.
His sleep.
And his week. No, I don't take that blame. I do it once a year or once every few months. But
we'll do it on your birthday. When is your birthday?
I think it's in May, yes, but we'll do that before that. So as we begin talking about Lataji, let me play a little jhalak of 5 minutes covering her entire singing career from 1942 to 2014. And that will allow us to take some calls from our listeners. And Baiju, thank you again for being part of this wonderful show today.
My pleasure.
And so let's see a little jhalak of Lataji.
You're still on, Baiju, so
Yes.
don't go away anywhere.
Don't go away anywhere.
No, I
Right.
won't.
Right. That was a glimpse of her start from 1942 to about 1949 with Barsat.
Mm-hmm.
And what we are hearing now is her foray into regional languages, which began right in 1949 with Punjabi films, then of course to Bengali. She started out in Marathi, came into Hindi, went into Punjabi, Bengali.
How many languages has she sung in?
I think in almost every major
Every
language.
major language.
Yes.
Any English ones?
Yes, and just continue with the clip, Devji. You will get to hear that.
Okay.
So I'm not hearing the clip. It's yeah.
Yeah, no, I lowered it because...
Oh,
you're
okay.
going to
This
be
is a Bengali song that Kishorda composed specially for Lataji, I believe,
Wow. That is
and
unusual.
probably recorded in the late 70s, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And now we go to Lataji as a composer herself. She composed for 4 Marathi films in the 60s by the name of Anand Khan.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Yes, and this is a small clip from this award-winning film composed by Lataji. Yeah, it's playing. That's... Can you make it a bit louder? Okay. In her own composition, Lataji employed a very novel superposition of voices, which were her sisters. And let's move on with the clip, Devji. This is the English song,
Okay.
which as Anne Mangeshkar, Lataji presented in Canada in 1985, singing Anne Murray's beautiful song, You Needed Me. And then Lataji's vast contributions to the non-film world. And we were just talking about her desire this birthday to make it low-key and honor the Jawans. And no program on Lataji will be complete without playing a jhalak of this absolutely riveting song that she presented. This is from the live recording that she gave on 26th of January 1963 in Delhi. And Nehruji was present. Fast forward 51 years and we come to Baijuji's album, where Lataji has sung the same song that we heard in Baijuji's voice as we started the program. So that is a tiny microcosm glimpse of the 74-year history of Lataji singing every song with the same perfection, with the same nuance, any delicate nuance, her sur land perfectly. We are right back, and let's welcome back Baijuji back into the show again. Baijuji, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Yes. And so we started at 1942, ended in 2014. And before I move on with Lataji's song, select favorites of yours, and you're going to talk to us a little bit about it, I do want to convey to you so many callers calling in from both the US and India. Sunny ji, thank you for listening. Shambhavi ji had a special request. She called all the way from India, and she wants you to sing Ehsan Tera Hoga Mujh Par, at least a line. And I didn't mention, I think many of our local listeners may have attended Lataji's concert at Nassau Coliseum in 1998. And Baijuji tells me that he actually sang it live at Nassau Coliseum in 1998.
Really?
Yes, I did perform in that concert.
Wow.
So, Baijuji, do you want to honor the request from listeners from India, from the US right now, or do you still want to wait?
Let's get on with the show a bit and then...
Okay, as long as we have time for that. So, let's pick... So the rest of the few selections of Lataji that we would like to discuss with you, which are your absolute favorites, I must apologize. I'm going to cut off the songs maybe in 1 minute or 2 minutes just to fit in a few more songs. We have so many requests that people are saying, oh, ask Baijuji about this song, that song. And so let's begin. Lataji means so much to everyone. Every song of hers conveys piety, conveys devotion, conveys love, conveys laughter, conveys sorrow, conveys pathos. Let's begin with perhaps the most beautiful prayer song that's so much needed in this world of today, marred with violence everywhere. So let's play a jhalak of that, and we'll get you back, Baijuji, to talk to us about that song and what it means to you. So that is the most beautiful prayer song. Welcome back, Baiju ji, to the show. To those of you who have just joined in the middle, we are live coming from the studios of WRSU. We have Baiju Mangeshkar ji interacting on the phone with us live from Prabhu Kunj. We are celebrating Lataji's 87th birthday, honoring her extraordinary contribution to music of all kinds.
You can always connect with us, 732-932-8800. And whatever request you would like to make of our special guest, we are honored to have Baiju ji on the phone line with us live. So if you have any particular question about himself, he is a terrific composer in his own right, and also the relationships that he shared with his aunties, and anything specifically that you would like to request of him to sing a line or two. He has promised, even though he's not, is a little bit
under the weather.
But I'm sure he'll take the opportunity to give us a jhalak of his voice.
So tell us about what the song specially means to you, Baiju ji.
Allah Tero Naam?
Yes, the one that you just played.
Composition.
Yes, it's probably one of the greatest bhajan that Hindi film music
Correct.
has.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's so perfect. It's the epitome of perfection, where the poem by Sahil Saab, composition by Jaydev ji, and of course Lataji's voice.
Yes.
And the song is it's a difficult song to sing too.
Yes.
The story goes that, Lataji and Jaydev had a little spat some time ago before the recording, and she wasn't singing for him. And when Jaydev did this composition, and he realized that there was no one else who could sing this song.
I see.
And then Dev Saab and Vijay Anand Saab, they sort of, patched them together, and thankfully for us listeners, and then we have gems coming out of them over the years after Allah Tero Naam.
Yes, and I think you interacted with Jaydev ji personally too, and I know that you love him as a composer.
One of the greatest fans, and he was like a guru to me, and initially I was very shy, but when I heard a few songs of his, and I was completely smitten by his composition style, and I thought it was so unique and so original and so different.
Yes, which indeed it is.
And I had the great opportunity to sort of go and see his rehearsals and see a few recordings.
And I heard Man himself was quite simple, humble.
Oh, extremely. One of the most unassuming personalities I've ever met.
Very down to earth and...
Just like you?
Down to earth.
Yes.
Jaydev is something else. And he had a unique style. I mean, he was, his compositions were very difficult to sing because he was such a genius that when he would sort of rehearse with them, and I've seen this with myself, when he would rehearse a song, it used to be something else, and at the recording room,
yes,
the singers used to go. He would add something that just used to pop out from nowhere, and it used to take the singers aback.
Yes.
And he would just sort of come up with these new nuances and harkats and
improvisations.
Completely change a line or two. I mean, it was.
Well, that's what the geniuses do, right?
And of course, when they were working with your aunts, it didn't matter. They could absorb it in.
It really matters, especially with Latanti and Ashanti, because he had implicit trust in them as singers, and in fact he would tell Lataji that you do what you feel like, you pick up from this and then do it yourself.
That
he
is
had this implicit trust in both the sisters. So
when you're
he tells us that they've done a great justice to all his compositions.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, when you have the best of the talents concentrated in one family, it just brings out the best of the composer, that they want to improvise more and more to extract that little extra bit of classical mastery, as Malti ji just reminded me. And so let's move on from the Jaydev ji because clock is running down. And I want to play this very beautiful romantic song. So we dealt with the piety in Lataji's voice. So let's go to the next song.
Yes, it's the most pristine voice one could ever imagine.
Yes. So let's listen to the song while we take a few calls. And then Baiju ji, we are back with you again to tell us about what that song means to you.
Right, right.
हंसी रात लग जा गले के फिर हंसी रात हो न हो शायद फिर से जन्म में मुलाकात हो न हो लग जा गले के फिर हंसी रात हो न हो शायद फिर से जन्म में मुलाकात हो न हो लग जा गले हमको मिली है आज घड़ियां नसीब से हमको मिली है आज घड़ियां नसीब से जी भर के देख लीजिए हमको
What a marvelous piece of composition there is. And Baiju, I understand that she had a very, very special feelings and relationship with Madan Bhaiya.
Yes,
And
absolutely. And with the family, and it continues to date.
Uh-huh.
And even us, kids are close to the family, and Sheila auntie, and of course, I was unfortunate that I never got to meet
Madan Mohanji.
Madan Mohanji because I think he passed when I was probably just 2
Oh,
years.
yeah. So soon he passed away, so early in his
The
life.
rest of the family have been very close friends, all 3 children of his, and even when Sheila auntie was sort of around, we would go over to the house, and the kids used to come here, and
And Sheila auntie is Mrs. Madan Mohan, just for our listeners.
Sanjeev ji and his son Samir Miki, as we call him, a lot on music. And Sanjeev ji in fact told me that this particular song, I mean, though Master Sonic was a great arranger of
Right.
the film industry.
The Omi Sonic team. Right?
Yes, yes. But Master Sonic was the actual arranger for Roshan Saab and
Oh yeah, many, yeah.
Mohanji and a few more.
And the ghazals they were composed.
The violin pieces, the string section from this particular song was actually done by Madan Mohanji.
Acha, acha, thank you.
And like I was saying, the ghazals they were composed by Madan Mohan and
they were outstanding.
and sung by Lataji. I mean, there is no comparison by.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, and in fact, we have so many requests we have to
He
deny.
was the, uncrowned Ghazal king, of India.
Yes.
Certainly.
And again, thank you to all our listeners who are calling in and appreciating the program and making more and more requests. We have to say sorry to your requests because we
Time
have
is always the enemy.
time is the enemy. And so this was, of course, the most romantic song that's beloved by hundreds of millions of people.
Yes, and it's wonderful that this song has sort of, it's so old. I mean, I don't know how many, 50 years old or more.
Easily,
Yeah.
yes.
It's transcended to all generations. And
Correct.
today you have kids, who are into Lady Gaga or whatever.
Yes.
They know this song, and and even though, Madan Mohanji has the label of being Ghazal King and, complex songs, but this is a beautiful romantic song, which I think he's remembered by this song today more than all his other
that is true. That is true. And
equally great work.
right, I could say it's still haunting us.
Yes.
Absolutely, and not just us. I mean, all the generations after us know this song, so it's really, really heartening to know that this, especially for Madan Mohanji, who didn't see much of success in his lifetime.
Yes.
That this song is, is eternal.
Right.
This song is going to be as long as music is alive. So
Right.
It's really heartening and really makes me happy.
Right.
And I love this song, and it brings back a lot of memories, because this was a song that, Lataji would sing in her concerts.
Yes, always.
Rehearsals.
Yes.
One of the toughest songs to sing, but she sang it so beautifully.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All her songs are tough to sing.
Right. And so we have played two songs of Lataji beloved by almost 1 billion people, I would say. Let's play one song of hers that you told me, which I wasn't aware of, which is a favorite of yours. And I want to ask our knowledgeable listeners if they can identify either the composer or the name of the film. We'll play about one antra at least, and then we'll get back to you, Baiju, and you can tell us why the song is so special to you.
Okay.
Next. Yeah. I can. Yeah. Listen.
Just like Khantha said, one of our the programming note is to solicit people's reactions, and the way we solicit reactions is to ask questions. And we have asked questions. Khantha has asked a question about this particular song, which film it is from, and who composed this wonderful tune by Lataji. So anybody who can do the research quickly?
Yes,
call us quickly.
Let's play a little more of this beautiful song.
Yeah, 732-932-8800 is the number. And if you can't figure that out, I'm sure Baiju will give us the answer, right?
Yes.
Voice and that trembling in the voice, and
oh, what a great voice!
haunting song. Not very much known, because we didn't get our knowledgeable listeners calling in.
We didn't
with the answer.
we didn't get our local knowledgeable listeners calling in.
I'm sure somebody.
But I have
so too,
all
but-
the correct answers on Facebook from all our group of friends, Pavan Bhai, Guriji, DG in Chicago, I think. All Apurv. So nice that you're all listening and enjoying. Of course, you all knew the answer, but we will let Baiju tell us about the song.
You tell us about the song.
Well, the song is from a very obscure film called Trip to Moon,
Oh.
alias Chand Ka Safar. The composer is Usha Khanna ji.
Right.
And, unfortunately, this song didn't do well, not in the film,
And she didn't get justified credit for her compositions. You know, everybody remembers her from Dil De Ke Dekho and all that. But
right. In fact, even this particular song wasn't even printed on record.
oh my God.
There were other two very nice songs as well in the film, which were on 78 RPM record.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't, unfortunately, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And thankfully, the film was out on VCD or something, and we managed to get this song. And,
All right. And one of your favorites, I heard.
My favorite because, it's deceptively very simple sound, but those khatkas and murkis that you hear.
Yes. And the voice, the vibrations in that voice.
Yes. So I had a question.
Says, when she sings the word Khuda, I mean, it just gives you the chill.
Yes, she brings it to a different stratosphere.
Absolutely. And,
takes us to the trip to the moon.
Yes,
basically.
yes, definitely beyond the stratosphere.
And beyond.
Yes.
And beyond, yes.
So tell me something,
I
Baiju.
don't want to come back.
Baiju, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I think I have read, and maybe you have shared it, that Lataji keeps meticulous diaries of every song that she sings. She likes to write her own lyrics in her own handwriting.
With her little notes.
With her little notes. Now, things like this reverberation and the tiny nuances that the composer may have told her to do, or maybe it's her own creation.
Right.
Is that something that Lataji just has to tell herself that she needs to do it at the right places, at the right landing, and the moon landings are perfect? Or does she have actually some notes in her diary for these special effects?
Yes, she does. I mean, in fact, it all depends on the song and the composer, of course.
Yes.
Some composers have their ideas very fixed and, don't want much improvisation from the artist.
Yes.
And then there's some there who just used to absolutely leave it to her that, do what you want.
Uh-huh.
And, yes, and when she writes the song, she does make these little notes. And in fact, even if I had to talk about myself, and when she sang for me,
yes,
she was making those very cryptic notes that you will not understand.
Oh, okay.
It's only for her. It's only meant for her.
I see.
And
She didn't want you to understand it.
yeah, probably not. And in fact, even if you, even in between the song, and if there was some suggestion, if I would make that,
Uh-huh.
like let's do this line this way or whatever, and even. When on the mic, when she's on the mic also, I would notice that she would make these little cryptic, drawings and
Wow.
signs on that paper, which only she knows what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's quite amazing. I mean, because as opposed to the Western style where they write your musical notes.
Yes.
Indian singers don't do that. You just write the words, and you basically sing by you learn the song by ear, and you play it by
Right.
heart and your
Right.
mind together. And
So-
she does this. She does have this. I'm sure a lot of singers, others do it, but she does do it.
She does it to the perfection, to the level that I think is very difficult for any other singer to attain.
Like I said, when she was even singing for me, she treats you as if you are, Madan Mohan or somebody.
Exactly. And when Usha Khanna composed,
greatness. I mean, she comes to your level. Even in a discussion at home when we talk about music, she is never that, I'm Lata Mangeshkar and, I know more than you, or, you have no experience, or blah, blah, blah. But she talks to you, she listens to you, she will correct you, or she will agree with you, and even magnanimous and great enough to even admit that, you were right, or whatever.
That's the greatness of her, and she has
When she's at the mic, she is like a student. She treats the composer like, I've seen this in the past, but I didn't know she would do that to me as well.
uh-huh.
She treats you like, I've got probably 100 songs in the past.
Really? Wow. What humility and...
Ever for me, and, but she treated me like as if I have 100 songs in my bag.
Does she ever mention any particular song that she enjoyed singing or is her favorite? or any duets with any other singers that might be her favorites?
Not one particular. There are many, and she particularly enjoyed singing for Salil Chaudhary because it was a challenge singing for him.
Yes.
Compositions were very difficult. And Sajjad Sahab, because he was again a very
perfectionist,
a taskmaster, and
yes.
He had his own thing, and he was, so he's a very challenging music director for her.
And the greatest taskmaster is your dad for Lataji.
Oh, my dad, of course.
Baiju, I just want to, I see the clock, it's we're less than 19 minutes towards the end of the show. So I want to play this song for which you have some very special things to mention about. And in this connection, we had a caller, Malti ji, who's very knowledgeable, who also mentioned about Lataji's extreme, perfection in rendering classical songs. Of course, her classical training is impeccable. And could you tell us something about, like when you were growing up, would you hear Lataji hum a tune at home? There was music always. What was it like?
Yes, it was music always, but it wasn't as, anybody else would imagine that music was blaring in this house all the time.
Yes.
It wasn't like that. It was very normal. It was a job that they did, and they came back home and they, switched off and got into all the, other things of life, even the mundane, and, and not much of talking about the music or their recording. I mean, very, very seldom that they would discuss, this happened or that happened.
But would she like hum an alap or something like that while doing her chores?
Strangely enough, she rarely sings at home.
Wow.
I have never, in my years, I've rarely heard her sing. Only if you're discussing music and you to remember a tune, then she would probably hum that a bit or sing it.
So she would leave the job at the office, so to speak. And
but she's not the type who's like singing all day. Asha Aunty and my dad are the ones who sort of constantly singing. They're sitting at the table and they break into a song.
Oh, really?
Lataji, strangely enough, this would be a surprise to many people.
Yes.
Interesting enough, would whistle a lot.
Whistle?
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yes.
She should bring out an album with her songs that she
Have you
whistles.
recorded any?
And no, unfortunately, but she is great at whistling.
Ah.
Wow. Even classical songs?
Pardon?
Even classical bandish and so on?
Oh yeah, she could whistle anything.
Wow.
Like the way she sings, she could whistle.
That is a very unusual.
It's truly a nightingale.
Yeah, and especially when she would be sort of pottering in the kitchen, cooking or doing,
daily housework.
Right.
Yeah, she would whistle.
Wow, that is something that I'd never heard before.
No, I had never heard it too. That's so nice
of
you
you
to
should
share.
do? You should sneak up on her and try recording some of those whistles.
Yes, for posterity's sake.
I should have done that.
And another thing that she is very good at is mimicry, is that right?
Oh yeah, she is a great mimic. I mean, people close to her and people know her very well. No, she's just great at mimicry, and she's got great wit, basically. She's a very intelligent woman. So
that doesn't come through when she performs because she's such a perfectionist and so serious about her singing that it doesn't sound like she would mimic anybody or do what Kishore Da used to do on the stage.
Right, but music is devotion to her. So obviously on stage she is, in a different. I think she just transforms into a different person.
Mm-hmm.
But there are many songs that she has done a great job.
Oh yeah, singing other songs, right?
Yeah, where the naughty guy.
Saigal and
yes.
Talat and all that. Yeah.
Where you don't expect her to sort of, and then she takes you by surprise. I mean.
Yeah.
Right. Let's play a song where you mentioned to me earlier that this song is a good example where she has mimicked one of the best actress to grace our cinema.
Are you talking of Sharabi Mera Naam Ho?
Yes. Do you think our listeners should listen to that? Yes, Panchabankal, and we will talk to you a little bit about that. So, if we could have...
my favorite song.
Yes, oh great.
One of my favorites.
बदनाम हो गया शराबी शराबी मेरा नाम हो गया खुदा की कसम आप बड़े खुदगर्ज हैं हाँ मैंने पी
Well, that wasn't Meena Kumari as you would think.
No, that was Lataji.
Wow, so she does mimic some of the actresses as well.
She is brilliant at mimicry.
Wonderful job.
I had no idea. I thought it was Meena Kumari
Yeah, that's what I
who was talking those lines.
And I think everybody else thought so too. But, I had heard that she kind of did not like that kind of a sharabi, sensuous, kind of a sexual type of...
She didn't particularly like it, but if the situation meant in the film, if it was depicted sort of in a tasteful way.
Right.
I believe in the film, Meena Kumari is just pretending to be drunk.
Correct. But not like Buddha Mil Gaya or something like that.
Yeah, she didn't particularly like Buddha Mil Gaya, but then Jai Kishanji and Raj Saab
convince her, yeah.
Yes, and what an iconic song.
The situation sort of demanded, and if it meant that it's going to be, rather promised that it was going to be done tastefully, then she did. And this particular song, not just for the mimicry bit, but the way she, the measured, subtle way that she has done the whole intoxicated feeling.
Right.
Yes.
And especially the last tantra where she's, sang offbeat a bit, deliberately, and that.
Right, sounds like a drunkard, yeah.
Yes.
And Panchamangal must have left her to do that.
Yeah.
Aapko Kheech Ke Gana, as we say. It's just, it's amazing. It is just...
Yeah, I think so too. One of the unusual, rendering by Lataji.
Yes, and then Panchamangal's great vision. He having the entire arrangement in a bass guitar, which is something very new for its time. We get to go back and see what the sound must have felt back then. Now
this was
it's all done with.
Late 60s.
You see the pieces in between the M1 and M2. You have just the main, where it was the time when there was 100-piece orchestra, and he just used this bass guitar as his main structure arrangement.
That was unusual in those days.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, Panchamda was Panchamda. He was quite creative.
So how was it in your household?
That's what I wanted to know.
Would you have some special occasions where Panchamda would come with Ashaji and the whole family gathers around the table with food?
Let me continue questioning that too. A lot of our families get together and they do Antakshari type of game and everything. Did you guys do that also?
Yes, we did.
That must have been something. I mean, you should have recorded some of those sessions.
Yes.
We do. We've had our Antakshari sessions, and we have a strong members too in that.
Oh, it must be so tough, such a tough Antakshari.
They all have great memory, and
Oh, yes.
There's Meena auntie and there's Usha auntie, and they all have great recall of old songs, and so.
Like
everybody is on par with each other.
Absolutely. A couple of your aunts, of course, got started as actresses as well, Lataji included.
Just Lataji.
Yeah. So, I mean, do they have any misgivings about that, or do they think that they should have pursued that career as well?
No misgivings at all. In fact, she hated being on the set. Did that just to be, just for the bread and butter, actually.
Right.
Then she would get to sing a song or two. I mean, or maybe 3 songs in a film when she was an actress.
Right.
So that kept her going. That the music was not lost completely, and kept and she was also being cast to sing a song.
Right. And
she could sing and.
Any idea of what her favorite movie was, whether she was acting in it or not? But any of her favorite movies that she ever mentioned? That she saw it over and over again?
A lot of Hollywood films, because back in the day, even when they lived in Kolhapur, and they would, run off and go to see a movie, and sometimes even in India, in Bombay, when she was a sort of a known figure, she would hide and go and see a movie. Like, if she liked it, then she would see it like 5 times in a run.
Wow.
Can you mention any names of those movies?
She's a big fan of Ingrid Bergman.
I see.
Okay, yeah.
She Gaslight, and she's fond of the musicals, the MGM musicals. Gene Kelly is another favorite. So
right.
Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain, of course,
right.
yeah.
She went for all the classic.
All of the Hitchcock movies.
Okay. So she was quite diversified in terms of her likings for the movies.
Absolutely.
We're
talking of a very intelligent person here.
Right. Baiju, I have to bring to you some requests. We have
a few lines.
We had a caller, Amit ji, I believe, from India, who also would like to hear you sing your maybe a jhalak. They all understand that you are under the weather and your throat is not up to par.
Okay.
We have about 5 minutes left in the show, so do you want to oblige our listeners worldwide with a jhalak of a Lataji song that's close to your heart?
A couple of medley, like a medley.
Like a medley.
Okay.
For 2 minutes or so.
Not a medley. I'm too, always daunted to sing attempt any of her songs. This is...
Whatever you can for our listeners.
I'm going to try and sing a few lines of one of my most favorite songs.
Okay, that's fair. That's very good.
I'm always in a dilemma if I had to die and if I had to listen to one song as my last wish, which would it be? And I somehow always think of this one. I don't know why. Because I was just discussing with a friend in America the other day, Meena. She was also saying this song just kind of makes you very unsettled, and I just love this song, and I'm going to only attempt it because it's very difficult and I have a very bad throat.
Sure, but we appreciate your...
Bear and forgive me for all my,
Oh, don't even worry. We appreciate your gesture.
रात की महफिल सुनी आंखें पुररंग सहमे अरमानों का होना ही ये अंजाम
हो रात की महफिल सुनी सुनी भूल गए थे अपनी हस्ती इश्क वफा के जोश में हम सब कुछ खोकर बेबस होकर अब आए हैं होश में हम प्यासे रह गए दिल के अरमां छोटा सा भी टूटा था होना ही आप जा हो रात की महफिल सुनी सुनी
Oh,
Wow.
क्या बात है,
क्या बात है. Thank you so much.
Baiju ji, even though you say your voice is kind of under the weather,
It was a CD. I'm
that
sorry.
was fantastic.
That was fantastic, and that's our Irish hosts who are going to follow this program who are saying that it was fantastic.
Great voice.
Thank
and,
you so much.
This is just a little tribute to my great
Well, you know what? We hope you feel better very, very soon and come back very, very soon to our program.
It's one of my most favorite songs. It's from the film Noor Jahan, of course. And so thanks a lot. And first of all, please convey to Lataji, whenever you can, the good wishes and the love that all the people who are listeners of Devji's show for the past 42 years.
My heart swells with pride when I, listen to appreciation by all the, lovers of her music.
Yes, and I
It's my pleasure to sort of give her that message.
Yes, especially because Devji has been doing this show for 42 years, uninterrupted, every Sunday.
Do you have to keep on reminding people how old I am?
Yeah, no, that's not the point. But I want you to tell Lataji that your interaction with us today made our listeners so happy. And we wish her the very best of health, love, and peace. And
come back again. And
we have to get you back very soon. And
Thank you on behalf of her.
Thank you so much.
We're very happy, and thank you for having me. It was an honor indeed. And
give our regards to all your family there. And,
yes, and to your parents from me. And I especially
happy birthday to Lataji.
I especially want to thank my sister Uma, who made this show possible by telling me how you could call this show. So Uma there, thank you, my brother, everyone. And we are going to end with this beauty. Thank you again. Namaskar, Baiju ji. Namaskar to all our listeners worldwide.
Take care, Baiju ji. Thank you so much. You are listening to Bharat Radio on WRSU 88.7 FM, New Brunswick, New Jersey.